You're afraid of the wrong thing. When people imagine nuclear death, they picture glowing skeletons, instant vaporization, a planet-sized fireball. That image is comforting in a strange way, because it suggests there's nothing you could do. Blink and it's over. But nuclear weapons don't mostly kill people like that. They kill them slowly, quietly, and often days or weeks later, through mechanisms that feel boring, mundane, and brutally biological. What actually kills people after a nuclear detonation is not the flash, it's everything that comes after it, when the world keeps going, just enough to finish the job. Let's get the first illusion out of the way. The blast itself only kills a fraction of the population, even in a city. Physics is rude like that. Pressure drops rapidly with distance, buildings block shock waves, terrain absorbs energy. Unless you're very close, you're not vaporized, you're injured. And injury is where the real danger begins. Flying glass, collapsing structures, ruptured eardrums, internal bleeding. Survival here is not heroic. It's boring and fast. Get behind mass, not windows. Concrete, earth, even thick bookshelves reduce overpressure and shrapnel. This works because blast waves lose energy when forced to bend and reflect, and dense materials dissipate that energy as heat and fracture instead of letting it pass through you. Then come the burns, which are far deadlier than most people realize. Thermal radiation from a nuclear detonation travels at the speed of light and cooks exposed skin instantly, even miles away. Clothing matters. Dark fabrics absorb more heat, light fabrics reflect it. Covering skin reduces burn severity dramatically. Burns kill later through dehydration and infection, not the initial pain. Clean water, sterile covering, and not popping blisters becomes a life-or-death discipline. This works because the skin is your largest immune barrier, and once it's compromised, bacteria don't need permission. Now let's talk about radiation, the thing everyone fears and almost no one understands. Acute radiation sickness mostly affects people very close to the blast, or those who receive high doses quickly. Most survivors don't die glowing. They die from bone marrow failure days later, when their immune system quietly shuts down. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Fallout is usually more dangerous than the initial radiation. Fallout is just dust, ordinary-looking dust. It settles on roofs, roads, clothes, food, and water. You don't need a Geiger counter to survive it. You need distance, time, and shielding. Staying indoors, preferably underground or in the center of a large building, reduces radiation exposure dramatically. This works because gamma radiation weakens exponentially as it passes through dense material. And fallout radiation drops sharply in the first 48 hours. And here's where people really get killed: breathing. After a nuclear explosion, massive fires merge into firestorms. Smoke fills the air with carbon monoxide, fine particulates, and toxic combustion products from plastics, fuel, and industrial chemicals. Lungs don't care whether smoke came from a house fire or an apocalypse. Breathing smoke kills more people than radiation in many scenarios. Covering your mouth with cloth helps a little. Staying low helps more. But the real survival move is avoiding fire zones entirely and sealing indoor air as best as possible. This works because particulates and CO reduce oxygen delivery to your blood, causing hypoxia long before you feel dramatic symptoms. Then infrastructure collapses, and this is where the quiet massacre happens. No electricity means no water pumps. No water means dehydration in days. People underestimate how fast this happens. Stockpiling water or immediately filling containers buys time. Using water from heaters, pipes, and sealed tanks becomes essential. This works because municipal water systems rely on pressure and power. Gravity-fed sources last longer, but not forever. This section is based on practical field survival experience rather than formal academic sources. Food is less urgent than people think, but sanitation is more urgent than almost anyone plans for. Without sewage systems, waste accumulates. Disease follows. Cholera, dysentery, simple bacterial infections become lethal without antibiotics or clean conditions. Separating waste from living space, boiling water. And basic hygiene routines are not optional, they're survival technologies. This works because pathogens multiply logarithmically, and small delays in sanitation lead to explosive outbreaks. Psychology finishes what physics starts. Panic makes people run into fallout. Curiosity makes them look at the flash. Denial makes them wait too long to shelter. The most dangerous moment is often the first hour, when information is scarce and instincts are wrong. Stillness, not movement, is usually the correct first response. Waiting reduces exposure. Acting late but informed beats acting early and panicked. This works because radiation dose is cumulative, and time is a form of shielding. The final lie about nuclear weapons is that they end the world instantly. They don't. They wound it. Then watch as systems fail one by one. Nuclear fear focuses on the mushroom cloud. Nuclear reality focuses on lungs, skin, water, bacteria, and human behavior under stress. If you understand what actually kills people, you stop fantasizing about the blast and start respecting the aftermath. Survival isn't about toughness or luck. It's about knowing which invisible processes are trying to kill you, and stepping just slightly out of their way while the rest of the world panics itself to death.